Hey guys, what's up? It's Pixelated-Apollo. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys are doing well. And today we are playing some Total War Warhammer. And you're probably looking at the length of the video and you're thinking, "Wow, this is pretty long for a Warhammer video." Well, technically, yeah, it's pretty long, but it's not one battle. It's 3 battles in one video. So someone sent in 3 battle replays in an email, and they said in that email that these battle replays are the best ones he's ever saved. And, you know, I've seen that many times before, and the battles are just, you know, average or just okay. And then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling Warhammer right now. Let me just check them out. Let me see what they're all about. And man, they are actually really enjoyable. You know, whenever you see a great replay, you know it's a good replay. When at the end of the replay, you think, wow, like, I really want to play Warhammer now because that replay's got me pumped up. So that's the feeling I got from all the replays he showed me. They're all really excellent. Now, these battles are not huge battles. These are not massive battles with multiple teams, multiple armies. They're all very tactical. They're all very competitive 1v1s. And the person who sent it in, every battle he plays as Bretonnia. And I've got a lot of respect for that because Bretonnia, in my opinion, I could be wrong, I think they're the weakest faction because their archers are, you know, meh, and their infantry's meh, but their cav is really good. But that kind of makes them more difficult because the strongest unit is the cav unit, and that means you got to micro more to use them effectively. So yeah, props off for using Bretonnia. I think it's going to be really interesting here. Again, this is not massive, but if you enjoy tactical battles, this is it right here. You're going to enjoy this, even if you're not a Warhammer fan or like a huge fan. You guys know me. I'm not a big Warhammer fan. I enjoy the game, but it's not my favorite. But these battles, I really enjoyed. Also, it's not super laggy because there's thousands of troops on the battlefield, so that's kind of refreshing too. But yeah, anyways, on that note, let's get started, guys, with the very first battle. This one, of course, is against Bretonnia, and we have the vampire counts. We're going to go ahead and do some slow motion. Check out the army comps. So for Bretonnia in the front line, he's got 8 units of spearmen at arms with shields. He's got 3 golden chevrons, and in the third line, he has 4 units of peasant bowmen. He does have another unit of infantry. He's got the men at arms with pole arms with 1 silver chevron. He's got a damsel, and then he has the king on his mount, and then he has 2 units of Grail Knights, which is actually quite surprising because I always like to spam the Grail Knights whenever I'm Bretonnia. So he's only got 2, but he's got 1 sneaky one back here in the forest. All right, so let's check out the vampire counts now, who are really just hiding in the trees. So he's got his main force located to this flank. He's got about 3 units of skeleton spearmen. He does have the grave guard. I think he's got a couple units of grave guard, and he has a right king in the mix, you know, to help reinforce the front line. And he's bringing a corpse cart. This has to be one of my favorite units in this game because every time I look at it, I always think of Monty Python, Bring Out Your Dead. Bring out your dead. And then when I see an arm waving around, I always think of the guy that's like, I'm not dead yet. He's sick. He'll die soon. It's one of my favorite scenes. And he actually has 2 of them in his army. The rest of his forces is split up in 2 other parts. He's got 1 small part here with some black knights. And then way over here, he's got some deadly units like the black knights with lances and barding. And he's got some blood knights. Oh man, the Blood Knights. And he has his general, which is not Carl, his Manfred, and he's got another right king with that small force. So we'll go now into normal speed. And you can see Bretonnia, he probably has no idea where the enemy forces are, so he's kind of scouting ahead with his general, which is always a smart idea. I mean, the generals can really take a beating. I mean, don't be afraid to use your general aggressively, especially if he's flying in the air. You can use them, you know, they can get around pretty quickly. So if you get in a sticky situation, he usually, in most cases, will be able to get out pretty safely, but taking very minimal damage. But there we go. He spotted his army. Bretonnia is now maneuvering his forces, and I still do not think he realizes that the Blood Knight cav is right behind his flank. He could see them, not really sure, but I'm pretty sure they're hidden in the trees as of right now. Again, the vampire counts have no idea about the Grail Knights on this flank, or you know, back deep into the forest. So I'm sure he's gonna wait for the perfect opportunity to use these guys. It's gonna all be about timing here. So here comes his infantry. I think he's gonna form a nice defensive line in between the two mounds, these two graves here. All right, there he goes. Spearmen at arms, ready to form up. The two armies are lined up, looking at each other, saying mean things to each other, you know. Just saying like, hey, you suck. We're gonna kill you. You know, stuff like that. Skeleton spearmen, they're not the strongest, but again, he's got the Grave Guard in the mix. So the Grave Guard should be able to punish those Bretonnian infantry, because the Bretonnian infantry is not great. And just look at the general, just kind of, you know, just enjoying his sights. He's not in any kind of rush, but he is flying back. Oh, we do have a little bit of a cav engagement here. The Grail Knights are taking on the Black Knights. They should be able to take him out very quickly, especially with the support of the general, who's clawing his way through the enemy forces. Oh, here comes the first charge, guys, of the Skeleton Spearmen. No, actually, this is the Grave Guard. They're going to be the first ones to charge in. And look at that brutal charge, jumping into the front line. I think the spears are going to hold back. Now he is committing in he's committing in his spears. And I think Bretonnia, they're going to be waiting to use their Grave Guard. I think he's going to wait until he commits all of his infantry, and then there'll be nothing to stop his Grave Guard. Oh, did you see that? It looked like his general just came down and just kicked some skeletons and flew off. There we go. Got a nice infantry fight. He's got his archers behind here supporting them from afar. I am using a camera mod, so we're going to get some nice close-ups. That was awesome. Back here, he's got a couple reserves protecting his back lines against a vampire cav. And he does a pretty good job of zoning them out, but how long can they hold? We are going to do slow motion here and there, guys, just because these battles are so fast. But if we zoom in the front line, the skeletons are doing all right. It's a pretty close battle because of those gold chevrons. It's really helping them out, you know, experience-wise. They're not going to break instantly, and the support of their general. Here comes the Grave Guard. They're now charging in the rear flank. This is the same unit that took out the Black Knights we saw a little bit early on. So they're going to charge in and do a lot of damage to the skeletons that are fighting in the front lines. He does have his other Grave Guard moving in, guys, through the forest. Kind of reminds me of a Gladiator, that beginning battle scene. They're flanking around through the forest, and here they come, the perfect target. They're gonna flank around and get a nice hammer and anvil. Look at that brutal charge, killing thousands, no, probably like you know, dozens of skeletons, and they're starting to crumble. So excellent hammer and anvil. Also with the support of the general, his front line is holding quite well. If we head back over to the other side, we do have some zombies being spawned, I assume, by Carl. He's just sending in zombies. This is an excellent idea from the vampire counts. They're now trying to silence the bowmen so they can't harass their main infantry. I think this is a genius use of the zombies. You know, take out very vulnerable targets like these archers, and they're gonna silence them even if they lose in melee, which it looks like they're winning. They're gonna silence the bows. The damsel here is trying to help contain this front line, fighting off the zombies. Now the zombies are not going to kill the damsel, so it's not. But again, they're not there to win. They're there just to silence the bows, so the infantry does not continue to get harassed. So more and more zombies coming in, being spawned in with spells. And poor spearmen at arms are surrounded by zombies and the blood knights, and that's going to cause them to break. So the back lines are starting to crumble, but the front lines still stand true. He does have some wavering here, but the vampires are crumbling because of the brutal cycle charges from the Grail Knights. So yeah, that was a crushing blow right there. That should crumble that infantry. And there's some fighting in the back lines of the vampire counts, taking out the those corpse carts. The general still going strong for Bretonnia. We do have some skeletons returning to the fight. Looks like we got a couple spells coming down. Yes, we do have the Curse of the Midnight Wind, which hurts their armor and melee attack by a ton. That's pretty huge right there. Really suffering their stats, and that's going to make it difficult for them to come back. But unfortunately, more and more zombies are being spawned in by the vampire counts. Great use of the zombies, using them to surround the infantry of Bretonnia. And this Bretonian infantry, like I said, they're not the best in the game, and they can easily be broken. But they are wavering. That's not a good side. You never want your infantry surrounded like that, because in Warhammer, oftentimes your troops will break, but they will come back. But if they get surrounded, obviously they're going to get cut down. Let's go back to slow motion, see what's going on. There's very critical moments in the back here where we have the last stand of some spearmen at arms taking on the Blood Knights once again. And then we have, I think, yeah, more Black Knights flanking around. This is a special Black Knight units, the Verix Reavers. I'm sure I butchered that name. But yeah, pretty cool. I love the dead horses. It looks great. So yeah, a very critical fight, a very important fight, because if he loses his flank, the cav is just going to open up like a floodgate, surround. But the Grail Knights coming in to try to save this battle and crush these skeletons. How do you kill what is dead? What is dead may never die. But we got another Midnight Curse on the infantry. That was a really great use of that spell. And the skeletons are really losing a lot of stats there. That might save the Bretonian infantry if they can just hang on a little bit longer. The king is coming down, trying to show the men, do not break. This battle is not lost. Hold your ground. We can still win this one. As Bretonnia, as long as you have Grail Knights, there's always hope. There is always hope. Those Grail Knights are beast-like. So he's falling back once again. The infantry still holding strong, but the flanks have been destroyed, and the Blood Knights are now coming in to give him a taste of his own medicine. Nice hammer and anvil with the Blood Knights, crushing the spearmen. He does have some spears returning to the battle, trying to group up once again, try to contain these Blood Knights. The Blood Knights are falling pretty quickly because they are stuck in prolonged melee. Here comes Carl. I think that's Carl. Or why do I keep calling him Carl? It's Manfred. I think I saw yeah, here he is. Manfred's in the front line doing some spells. He did a couple abilities to buff his units, I assume. Yeah. No, he's rising the dead soldiers once again. But he's really taking a beating, guys. He's already about halfway. Gotta watch out for that. So obviously he went with the cheaper mount instead of the zombie dragon, because I think he went with more of an expensive army. And oh, we got a legendary lord battle. Oh yeah, the king just slapping the claws in his face. Yeah, get him. Yeah, they're just, both these legendary lords are drenched in blood. Let's once again do some slow motion where this battle is coming down to the very critical moments. Bretonnia, there's a lot of breaking here, but some of the soldiers are coming back. We've got a right king who's now moving in. This is going to be really important. Oftentimes in Warhammer, it can come down to legendary lords and heroes. We do have the damsel still alive. Actually, no. Yeah, this is the damsel. I think she broke, but she kind of, collected herself. She's going to go back into the fight. And we still have a lot of Grail Knights who are fighting off what's left of this right king. So he's surrounded. I don't think this guy's gonna last much longer. Oh, and oh my God! Look how just wrecked Manfred's getting wrecked right now by King Lewin the Cur, and he's just running. What happened to his health? Was that any spells? I don't think so. I think he just lost to damage. So he's gonna fall back. He's getting out of there. Is he wavering? Is he crumbling here? I don't know. He's still holding on, but only just. The Bretonian infantry taking care of the Blood Knights who are making their last stand. Again, you got to be careful with these Blood Knights. You don't want to leave them in prolonged melee. Try to get them out of the fight as quick as possible. Do cycle charges. That's what they're best. I mean, any kind of shock cav, you definitely got to do that. It definitely involves more micromanagement, but it is worth it, and it will win you a lot of battles. But the general is just cleaning them up with the support of the spears. And Bretonnia is going to win this fight thanks to the thanks to the infantry standing true. And now we've got the damsel. Oh, wait, hold on. The general, the king, is also very injured. He's routing. the king of Bretonnia, he is routing off the battlefield. So the balance of power is still, you know, it's in favor of Bretonnia, but the Blood Knights, the Vampire Counts, they can still win this one. But he needs to get these Blood Knights out of here. I think it's too late though. They're mostly they're dead. And when I say dead, they're like not fighting anymore because they've always been dead. Carl dies from heat stroke. No, I don't know how. I called him Carl again. Manfred dies, I think, because a bow unit shot at him with some arrows. So killed him from afar. I mean, he was so close to dead. If you farted on him, he would have died. But yeah, that wraps up that battle. If you enjoyed that battle, they only get better, guys. It's pretty crazy. But let's now look at the end results, and then we'll eventually move on to the next battle. So looking at Bretonnia, like I said, their infantry stayed true, and they got a good amount of kills, a pretty nice even spread. A couple did bad, but overall pretty good. His archers did also pretty good. I would say a little bit above average. And then, of course, the Grail Knights doing all the heavy lifting, getting this one getting close to 200, this one passing 100, and their two heroes, the general and hero, did pretty well. If you look at the vampire side, again, their skilled units, which was their cav, did the best. Unfortunately, their infantry just did not hold up. Now, one of his grave guard did excellent. It's a special Sternsman grave guard. They did excellent. Plus, he put a lot of chevrons, or maybe they gained those chevrons in the battle. But unfortunately, his Black Knights got caught out there, getting 0 kills, and his right kings did all right, but yeah, it just wasn't good enough from his infantry, and he unfortunately is defeated. Alright guys, welcome to the next battle. Another cool thing about each battle is that the environments are completely different and every opponent is using a different faction. So today we're seeing, or in this battle, we're seeing Bretonnia take on Chaos. And let's now look at the army comps and then get right into this fight. So Bretonnia in the front line, he's got a lot of men-at-arms polearms. So in the last battle he brought 1. This time he's bringing a bunch to the battlefield. He does have a trebuchet. And he does have the damsel once again, but she is dismounted. And of course, he's bringing the king on the same mount. And then he's got his army split up in a different formation. He's got more men-at-arms, polearms, defending the slight hill. He does have his Grail Knight, so I think he's got 1 Grail Knight. That's it. 1 Grail Knight, another trebuchet, and he's got some Pegasus Knights. Looking at Chaos, he's got about 4 units of the Marauder Horsemen. So it's a nice skirmish cav. They got like javelin capabilities. I think there's a couple different variations. Yeah, here's the Horse Masters. And then I think he's got like an axe throwing Marauder one. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Nice skirmish cav in the front line. And then he's got some aspiring champions. Not quite champions yet, but you know, they're getting there. And then he has his Chaos Chariot. Here is his Chaos Lord, that's his general. Then he's got some Chaos Warhound with poison. And the rest of his army is consisting of Chaos Marauders. Some of them do have great weapons. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then here's his Sorcerer, Chaos Sorcerer of Death. So yeah, lots of Marauders here. Most of them are just the standard Marauders. Some do have great weapons. Alright, so let's do normal speed. You can see that Bretonnia is moving in their Pegasus Knights. They're going to go in for a charge. And look at the javelins coming down, wrecking some of the Pegasus Knights. That was pretty brutal. I felt kind of bad for them, just seeing how brutal that was. And just look at this guy, just covered in javelins, dead, choking on his own blood. And now the Pegasus Knights are moving in once again, just absorbing tons and tons of javelins. A nasty, brutal sight. The general is also charging into the fight. So he's using all of his aerial units at one time, trying to take out the very fast-moving skirmishing cav, which I think is pretty smart. You know, take them out early so they're not a problem late game. So now the general's falling back. The Chaos Marauders, the Horse Masters, they're really grouping up. They're, again, like I said, the first battle, don't be afraid to use your generals. They're very tough. They can take a beating. Look at all the just sticks and stones and axes they're tossing at him. This poor mount is just covered in projectiles, but he's gonna fall out or fall back. He's not gonna fall out if you know what I mean. No, he's actually gonna absorb a lot of that ammo. Now I don't know if he's doing this on purpose or this was just a miss micro, but he is getting them to waste a lot of their ammo. And without any kind of penalty. I mean, he's about 20% damage there. It's not too bad. He's going to do a little charge into the poison warhounds. They're going to disengage. They're going to continue to... Oh, no, they're engaging. And there goes more of the javelins and axes right into the back of the King Lewin the Cur. Alright, he's going to try to escape out of there. You got to be careful with the Chaos Warhounds. They're very fast moving. Alright, so now we have the Grail Knights. They have been mobilized. They're charging towards some trolls. They're not going to go for that. They did not like that situation, so they're going to fall back. Maybe they're going to wait for a better opportunity. The trolls are mobilizing. They are lining up with the chariots. Again, the two forces are checking each other out. Not in that way, but like seeing how strong they are. And then they're going to charge, and not that great of a charge against the chariots, but they are containing the chariots. The trolls are going in, but they got the support of the men-at-arms pole arms. So, oh, jeez. I love the animations of Warhammer. It is fantastic. So a nice fight going on there. Once again, let's do some slow-mo, see what's going on in this main fight where we've got the skirmish cav. I think they're just, you know, throwing some shots, just popping some shots, trying to chip away at the infantry. Actually, I don't think they're quite in range. They're going to hold back. The trebuchet, I think, is targeted towards all that cav. Yep, it is. It is. Boom! Crushing some foes there. Taking out a nice line. There goes another one. Just crushing their numbers. And here comes a charge. There's a big opening to take out this trebuchet, the Chaos Warhounds, but they're not going to go for it. Instead, they're going to go for the flank on the infantry instead. So here's the charge from the Chaos Warhounds. Not that impressive, but there they go. They're charging in. We do have the Chaos Lord. He's now in the fight. And the chariots, they probably need to get going, you know? They need to get moving so they can really use that chariot ability. Obviously, you want to use your chariots in a very aggressive way. You want them constantly moving. You don't want them sitting in prolonged melee, which is a really common mistake that I see all the time. Yeah, look at these fights, though. Could you imagine fighting one of these aspiring champions? Like, that'd be terrifying. Okay, so a massive break from Bretonnia. Not looking good. The rest of the army is mobilizing. You can see Chaos really grouped up in one force. Bretonnia was split in two. He still has some Grail Knights, though. He's got a unit of 31, so they're a little depleted there. That's it for his Grail Knights. You got to keep them alive. Remember, if you still have Grail Knights, you still have hope. You still have hope. All right, so the general, he's flying around. I guess he's trying to maybe just separate the Chaos force. Or maybe he's just getting away for a little bit. I think there is a spell. Yep, he's got Soul Light on him. So he's losing some abilities. So I think he's just flying away. The spell has ended. He can now go back to the fight. And here goes the next infantry charge, guys. Here's the charge of the men-at-arms with pole arms. And here comes the enemy forces. The Chaos infantry. Pole arms going head first. Getting somewhat of a flanking charge on the side of those marauders with great weapons. The trolls are back in the fight, swinging their great clubs of justice, you know, just tossing them around, telling them what for. The king is back in the fight. Another spell coming down. Is this a spell against them? I think it is. Yep, it's Doom and Darkness. Hurts his leadership. That's not what you want to see as fighting as Bretonnia, especially when you have infantry that's very skittish, that is outnumbered and getting outflanked. His trebuchet is lost. The Chaos infantry took that out. He's got a couple units of infantry fighting near the flatter part of the battlefield. And I don't think they're going to hold much longer. Chaos coming down the hill with a flank. So a nice fight, but a fight that I don't think is going to end well for Bretonnia in that struggle there. He's doing all right in this main line. You know, I love how smooth the battle is because it's not a huge battle. It's unfortunate that Warhammer just like, it goes from like really smooth to just a slideshow in a matter of seconds if you have a lot of troops on the battlefield. So it's pretty refreshing to see just the smooth animations and the really cool fighting and just being in the front line like this. Very, very exciting stuff. Alright, so the trolls and the marauders, they're doing some damage here against these men-at-arms. We got some vomit coming down. That's just, you know, that's just gross, you know? Oh, one troll's got him. He's going to smash him to the ground, throw him around. I feel bad for that guy. Okay, so I think we've got another break from the Bretonnian infantry. Chaos is really just cutting through the Bretonnian infantry like a hot knife through butter, and now Bretonnia's got to regroup. This is it. Look at the balance of power. It's like it's not good. It's definitely not even. I think this is it for his infantry here. Now, they could break and return, but this is actually really good. He's cutting down some Marauder horsemen. I think Chaos is getting a little lazy here with the micro. I think he's feeling a little confident about this battle. I definitely don't want to leave your cav stuck in a fight against polearms. So he needs to disengage there and look for another vulnerable target to charge or harass. Oh, we still have the trebuchet alive and well. Maybe that's what he should use his cav for. You know, to take out that trebuchet, because that's going to rack up some kills. It still has about 20% ammo, so it's got a lot of shots left in him. We do have some chaos troops breaking, but it's really mostly Bretonnian forces. And again, he's got the Grail Knights, and like I said, that's going to be the slogan of the day. You still have Grail Knights, you still have hope. He can still win this one. He's running down a lot of infantry that are not getting back up. Now he's going to move on. He's just slowly picking them off one by one. Chaos needs to stay together to fight these Grail Knights. They cannot split up much longer. And what is this? Some Marauder Horse Masters. They're getting pinned down. That was actually a good move by Chaos, you know, sending in their cav, trying to contain the Grail Knights. If they can try to pin the Grail Knights down and then send in the infantry to try to chew them up. But the poor cav of Chaos is just getting butchered right now. With the support of the General and the Grail Knights, of course, they are just cutting through them pretty quickly. Alright, the Trolls are in a very heated battle against these Grail Knights. But they're going to use their flaming Lances of Justice to do a lot of damage. There you go. See, that's a great use of shock cav. He didn't stay in there for too long. Now he's going to change targets and just butcher the Chaos infantry, and once again they're going to keep moving. They don't stay around for too long. Unfortunately, Chaos, I think he's being a little indecisive here. You know, he doesn't know what to go for. I would just send my forces and attack this force here. Maybe leave a couple units back in reserve to deal with the Grail Knights. You know, try to stop their charge from attacking the main army. But here's a massive break from the Chaos Marauders with great weapons. Oh, and the trebuchet ripping through the Chaos Marauders' ranks. I think they're going for the trebuchet. But what's this in the distance? Oh, yeah, it's hope. It's the Grail Knights. The infantry may be dead of Bretonnia. Oh, my God. Look at them flying. Did you see that one dude who, like, jumped up and got hit mid-air with a lance or lance and just flew way back? That was awesome. So that's why I love these cav charges in this game. That's one thing I really enjoy about Warhammer. Alright, the trebuchet is about to get charged. Will they actually make it? The damsel's going to try to slow him down. You shall not pass. Oh, you're passing, dang it. Dang it, you're going around me. Seriously, if I saw a lady like this and I'm like, are you serious right now? And then she just jumps up and like kills 3 dudes. I'm like, oh crap. I'd be breaking too. I'd be like, what is this? Oh, rest in peace, dude. Didn't even see that coming. So Chaos is just getting picked apart right now because of the Grail Knights. I mean, this is a great example of a battle of how important Grail Knights are. And he didn't get, you know, he didn't get 4 units of them, 3 units of them. He didn't get 2 of them. He just had 1 Grail Knight. And they are doing wonders right now because the Chaos army is just in pieces. And he's eating up each piece one at a time. One at a time. Alright, King. Making sure these guys do not return. Now remember, it says routing. The only way you know they won't return is if it says shattered. If it says shattered, they will not return to the fight. So you got to make sure you run them down completely, especially in Warhammer, where units come back left and right. The balance of power is still in favor in Chaos. Only slight, though. It's looking great for Bretonnia. He does have some infantry that return. They're tired, but they're steady. They lost a lot of infantry, but it's better than nothing. And you know, honestly, I kind of feel bad for Chaos. Honestly, I thought Chaos had this in the bag. I really did. But as soon as the Grail Knights got going, here, let's enjoy this charge here. We're gonna get the point of view of the common Grail Knight soldier, which is not that common. They're an elite unit. Oh yeah, so juicy, so juicy, so great. I love it. So yeah, the Grail Knights running them down. And the Chaos Marauders, they're like down to 1 unit. I think the General is making sure these trolls go back home to troll land. Like, we're out of here. This sucks. This is horrible. Yeah, trolls are very timid. You know, they break all the time. I see it all the time. They don't have great morale. It seems, at least to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. But Chaos Marauders, they got nothing. I mean, they can't do anything about this situation. The damsel's just saying some things. They do have their sorcerer left. And look at this run from the sorcerer. This is like this Baywatch run right here. He's like, you know what? I might die today, but I'm going out in style. I'm looking good. Oh, he's doing some spells. Once again to the general. General doesn't care. He's gonna move in anyways. There's some finishing blows here. He's just messing with the enemy now, tossing them up into the air. The Grail Knights charged in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the fight. Chaos had that one in the bag, but he could not contain the Grail Knights. And that's going to wrap it up for Chaos. Let's end this replay, look at the stats, and then we will move on to the next army. The Grail Knights surprisingly only got 148 kills, which seems not like a lot because they were all over the place. So maybe they didn't kill a lot, but they knocked down a lot. His trebuchets did great. One got 27, but the other one got 159, which is huge. Infantry didn't do as well as the last time, but they did their part, and the general getting 71. Chaos's side, let's see, who did the best here? His trolls did all right. The poison warhounds did okay. His cav could have done a little bit better. His chariots could have done better. I think he was a little too careless with the chariots. He didn't really move them around that much. You got to keep that chariot going, especially go after infantry. That's what chariots are pretty good at doing. And his infantry did okay overall. So it just wasn't, it was a close battle. He almost beat Bretonnia, but just wasn't enough. Alright guys, so here we are on the final battlefield. This one is, I watched this one already. It's crazy intense. So we do have the greenskins on one side with a very nice army. We'll look at it in detail a little bit later. And of course, they're taking on Bretonnia. And every time, I'm surprised that he doesn't bring more cav. He's got a very defensive army this time. So on the front line, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 units of men-at-arms with polearms, and then in the back he's got 6 units of peasant bowmen. He does have a trebuchet that's loading up. He's got a couple spears on the flanks, and he does have 2 units of Grail Knights, one in the back with the main army and then one way on the flank. Now we'll head over to the greenskins, who have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of goblin spears. I love these guys. They're adorable. And then back here he's bringing some nasty skulkers, and he's got like 2 units of them. They're sneaky infantry. He's got 2 units of orc bigons, one on each flank. He has the Arachnarok queen who can spawn spiders. He also has a goblin big boss, and then in the back he's got a couple archers. He's got the rusty arrows, and he's got the night goblin archer, so he has somewhat of a skirmishing presence. And then for his cav, he has a shock cav, which is the broken tusk mob. Okay, so if we look at this goblin army, you want to go for the Arachnarok. I mean, I feel like the Arachnarok is the rock of the army. You see what I did there? They're really tough to kill, and they can really help out infantry maintaining that front line and stuff. So I think just, you know, he's got 6 archers, so he should be able to take out that big spider pretty easily. You just got to make sure you buy enough time. You got to make sure you protect your archers so that they don't get harassed by enemy cav. All right, the broken tusk mob. It looks like they're headed towards the Bretonnian cav. He's going to go ahead and fall back from that location. He realizes that the greenskins are going to focus down his infantry. And, well, actually, no, they're going back. They're going back. So it looked like the greenskins were going to focus everything on those Grail Knights. But instead, they're going to push forward. Obviously, the greenskins are going to have to be aggressive here because they have the more aggressive army. Uh-oh. I think we got a charge already, guys. Oh, nope, nope, nope. They're gonna calm down. They're gonna sizzle down a little bit. Fall back. I thought he was gonna go for a charge against the goblin spears. That might not be the greatest idea. Oh, you know, I forgot to show you their general. I'm sorry, guys. He's got Warzog, who almost looks like almost like an African shaman. Arise, chicken. Arise. Looks pretty cool. He's got like a squig in a cage back here. He's doing a little happy dance. Happy feet. Do 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 do. What is that? He's feeling. He's like, today is a good day to die. That's awesome. All right, so here comes the spears. I love the dancing, man. That's legit dancing in Total War. You know, we always joke about it in Napoleon Total War that there's units dancing, but that was legit dancing. All right, we're gonna do a nice cinematic shot of this because this is so cool. The atmosphere of this battlefield is great. Love it. Such a beautiful game. And now the spears are charging straight forward for Bretonnia. Now this is a pretty smart move because you're gonna send up your cheaper units because they're gonna absorb most of that ammo. And we're gonna follow these guys all the way to the front line. Here comes the arrows flying down. They've got their shields up, trying to protect themselves. We're gonna climb the hill. This is where the goblins are like, oh man, that's a lot of men. Oh, there we go. Most of those arrows are missing. There goes the great charge. One unit's about to charge in, way down in the flank. Here comes our unit. They're about to charge in, take on Bretonnia. They're gonna put their pole arms down, swing it around, and hold this main line. What a gorgeous battle charge there. That was awesome. This is why I love Total War. Close behind, we do have the more elite big orcs going in. The orcs, not the goblins. So they're going to muscle their way through the pole arms who continue to hold. And the Ragnarok was able to crush that front line. Now it's in the back line, spawning spiders, harassing the archers. That's exactly what the goblins need to do in this fight. Harass the archers, take them out. They're also harassing the trebuchet, trying to silence the trebuchet. Bretonnia is crumbling. Look at that. On this right flank, they are crumbling. Even the archers who are in the back line are starting to waver. The orc big guns are just too big. They're too much for the Bretonnian infantry. Here comes the Grail Knights. Nice charge. This is huge, guys. A huge blob. Look at them fly around. Huge blob of orcs grouped up. That's a great charge for the Grail Knights. The king is flying around, killing some spiders, it looks like. And then we've got the other Grail Knights doing hammer and anvil on. Oh, we got some spells here, guys. We've got, here we go. It adds plus 58 melee attack. That's going to be great for the infantry. I don't know, has that always been there when you hover over when they're using spells? That you can see, oh, the foot of, yes, nice. So he's trying to crush the Grail Knights. It doesn't completely kill them, but that big old green foot of Gork, I think is what it's called. Nice charge into goblin spears, or this. No, that's not the spears. It's the sneaky infantry. They're adorable. They look like Dobby from Harry Potter. Little Dobbies. I'm a free elf. All right, so Bretonnia is holding a little bit better here, but here comes the victorious goblin and orc infantry that won on the right flank. Now closing in. Oh, seeing Bretonnian infantry just fly across the battlefield. That's always fun. And the king is getting surrounded. And, I mean, Bretonnian's army is crumbling so quickly. The Ragnarok is going to continue to pursue these archers. Make sure they do not return. Could you imagine running under these spider legs? No, it'd be horrible. There it goes, just finishing up, eating them up. There is a small force regrouping in the back. He's got archers. He's got a couple of men-at-arms that are going to hold against these spiders. The goblins are really the orcs, you know, the greenskins, whatever. Orcs, goblins, they're really grouped up in the center. He still has his shock cav, which he's going to need to use to fight those Grail Knights. And remember, guys, you know, if there's Grail Knights still on the battlefield, there's still hope. Even though this Bretonnian army is really struggling. Oh, man, God. That spider jump kind of creeped me out. So the spider in there with the front line with the infantry. They're falling back. The Ragnarok chasing them down. So I think the goblins have a couple spells. Obviously, their lord is a wizard, so he has spells. And you got to watch out for that. The Bretonnians, you know, they're not completely destroyed. The balance of power is way in favor of the greenskins, but they still are holding. They're still putting up a front. Oh, yes! That's one of my favorite spells. Get rocked. So one of his peasant bows just getting trashed right there. And they're falling back. And not in the good way, you know, trashed in the good way. But yeah, they got crushed. And now the Arachnorok's back into this fight. The infantry trying to slow it down so the archers can focus all their firepower on this Arachnorok. Gigantic spider. It is pretty low on health, so they could cause it to break. The king is going back in. He's surrounded by orcs, outnumbered, and being attacked by a gigantic spider. He definitely had some better days. Definitely had some better days. The Grail Knights are charging in, trying to support their king in this mosh pit of a battle in the center of the battlefield. Now we got a thin line of infantry pouring in as well, just trying to send whatever aid they can to help their king fight off this great evil. The king is going to get out of there. The Grail Knights are going in with more cycle charges. And the goblins are going toe-to-toe against the Grail Knights. This is pretty good. The Grail Knights are stuck in prolonged melee. This is good for the goblins. But the goblins are starting to break now. The balance of power is still in their favor. The general's just like, you cowards. Hold. That's what the general's doing. Arrows still coming down. Look at this. He's got a lot of infantry returning to the battle. I think they see hope. They notice that a lot of goblins are breaking. They're like, you know what? We still got a shot, guys. Let's get back in there and kill some orcs. I personally would not want to fight such a creature, but thankfully I don't live in such a world. Thankfully such a world doesn't exist, at least to the best of my knowledge. At least that hasn't been proven, right? Alright, the pole arms taking out the goblins. What's left of the goblins. Balance of power still way in favor of the greenskins. They still have their general. The orc big guns are cheering. They're going for a charge. This is my realm. There he goes, the general going in for another charge. He's pretty low on health, though. He's got to watch out for that. Bretonnia still hangs on. The general doing an overhead smash. Kill. Oh, yeah, just swinging around his little totem staff thing. You know what also reminds me of... Aw, dang it, I can't believe I forgot his name, but the monkey from Lion King. Why did I forget his name? Same kind of thing. The Grail Knights are still alive, but very depleted. 16. They're going to charge in and kill some of these troops that could return. They are breaking. Oh, my God. They're just butchering these poor goblins. They're like, oh, crap, get out of here. They're falling back. The Grail Knights are doing well. They're sweeping around, cleaning up what's left of these goblins. Bretonnia is still standing true. The balance of power is still in favor of the greenskins, amazingly enough, even though they're so outnumbered. But wow, 58 melee attack for the general. Now the arrows are coming in. Who threw that piece of paper at me? He's gonna charge in, try to silence these archers. He does get a good smash there. Good smash. Smash, smash. It's up to the general now. The greenskins are getting butchered. Just like that. Once again, the Grail Knights were not contained. Even though the infantry for Bretonnia was crushed, they came back. The Grail Knights broke a ton of the greenskins. These archers are really focusing down the general. Look, even the infantry's kicking this guy. He's about half health, but it's falling quickly. He's surrounded. He's breaking. He's losing hope. The balance of power is now in favor of the Bretonnia. Nice swing of the staff there. But I don't think this general's got enough in him. I don't think he's going to be able to turn this one around. He's trying, though. The squig in the back here, he's getting a little concerned, you know. He's chilling in there. Unless he's dead, then I think he's dead. But yeah, he breaks. And that's the battle. What a crazy, just a crazy fight. When I watched this is one of the first replays I watched. I was like, wow, he turns this one around. That's insane. I can't believe it. His infantry broke so quickly. But a very common, reoccurring event is the Grail Knights saving the day. So we'll end the replay. This is the last replay of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, like, you know, having multiple battles in one video, because I hate to upload like a quick 10-minute video for one day. I feel like, you know, it's not it's not a good enough length. You know, you guys are kind of like robbed of a video for the day. You only got like 1/3 of a video. So this is if you enjoy this, be sure to let me know. I'll try to do multiple battles in one video. But here's the stats, guys. The archers doing not that well. They were silenced pretty quickly, but the infantry did okay. I mean, a lot of 70s, 40s. That's pretty solid. And once again, the Grail Knights just butchering enemy forces. Both of them getting over 200. Catapult, Trebuchet not doing that great. The general getting about 100. And then the greenskins, the spears did all right. The goblins, his sneaky or nasty skulkers did okay. The big guns did pretty solid. Unfortunately, his Ragnarok didn't do that amazing. And his cav, I think he could have used his cav a little bit better. He could have gotten, you know, over 100 kills with that unit. But yeah, that wraps it up. Good game to all the players, including Egyptian Falcon. I really enjoyed this. This was, you know, something a little different, more tactical, smaller battles. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, a comment, share, and of course, subscribe for more epic battles. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's always a pleasure, and I will see you next time.